just because you can imagine behind him what he is ruling. As you mentioned, the warheads, but the territory, the people, the whole enormous geographic treasury what they have. So it's a real empire. A man who rule a real empire. So it's a special feeling. But because the fact that this meeting was the number 14, so there was nothing surprise, nothing so. I know already how this feeling is.
So you are like two old tennis players who have played against each other in many occasions. You know the other's move. But tell us, how do you prepare yourself for such a high-pitched, very important meeting? It was a peace meeting. We will talk about your agenda. How do you prepare yourself mentally for a get-together with Putin?
So first of all, our first meeting has happened 2009, when I was that time in opposition. And I visited him in St. Petersburg. And we had a meeting in a library to clarify all the sophisticated and sensible point of the relation between the two countries, because the history of Russia, Soviet Union and Hungary is rather complicated. They several times attacked and occupied the country. 56 revolution crashed by them. We are very strong anti-communist political party, so it was not an easy job to find the proper basis how we will cooperate in the future.
Let me just make one point here to stress it for our viewers. I mean, you have been one of those young Hungarians you went on the barricades to protest against the Soviet Union. You were a freedom fighter. You worked to chase the Russians out of Hungary, just to give that as a remark.
Even more than that, even in the whole Central European region, let's say the Soviet Union occupied territories from Poland to Hungary, in 1989 I was the first political leader, a young one, a small radical anti-communist party, in a public speech, hundreds of thousands of people, who said, first time in this region ever, that Soviet Union troops should leave Hungary. So the transformation of the world is not just about that the communists let us to have free election and we will introduce democracy, rule of law and so on, freedom. No, this is important but not enough. What we need is national sovereignty and independence. So it was an anti-Soviet statement, of course, because it was considered a radical anti-Soviet something. Even I was criticized from the German language world. I do remember the Social Democrats of Germany said that Viktor Orbán, the crazy young radical in Hungary, said that Russian troops should move out and that will lead us to destroy the Berlin Wall, which is crazy. The Berlin Wall will never destroyed. So in our life, definitely is too radical, too provocative, rather dangerous. That was my first attack on me. That was the first attack on me from the left, liberal something, of the Germans.
But I mean, Viktor, this is totally crazy. I mean, you have been 30 years ago, you have been attacked of being too critical against the Russians, and now you are criticized. You're not critical enough with the Russians. I feel it's always, for a Hungarian, it's almost, how do you say, a personal attack. If a Hungarian is criticized as being too friendly to Russians, what do you say to those critics who say, Orbán, he's this kind of Putin understander, he's a friend of Putin? What do you say to these critics who have, a lot of airtime in the media?
So yes, I am criticized that I'm a friend of Putin, but I'm friend of the Hungarians first. Second, I'm friend of the peace. Yeah. That's very important. I'm friend of the peace. The reason why I negotiate with Putin, because I'm looking for the shortest and quickest way how to stop this war and create a peace.